It's $11.99. Chicken Caesar salad for $10.99 and more. Their meal deals also include tasty chicken fettuccine Alfredo served with garlic breadsticks for $12.99 and a cheeseburger with seasoned fries for only $9.99. TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 82 days.
From a jam-packed Bob Walker Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas, the Razorbacks taking on 14-seed Tennessee.
Roots 3-2 pitch.
He struck him out swinging. They love it.
Love it. Sit down. You think he's not fired up? That's 3,005 RPM.
The set and the pitch. Swing and a fly ball left field. Didn't get all of it. Bargo's at the wall. It's out of here. He didn't get all of it, but it still leaves the park. And Ryder Helfrich has given them the lead. 2-2. He struck him out swinging. And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Job's not finished. We got one more.
Lefty is set and the pitch. Swing and a drive, right field. A rocket headed to the Hunt Center. Here. Davalon was sitting dead red and crushes his 14th. 1-2 to Maxwell. Hit in the air, left field, gonna carry. Going back is Bargo. Bargo's at the wall. He leaps out of here. A grand slam by Logan Maxwell. 2-2 pitch. He struck him out swinging. Omaha for the Razorbacks in 2025. Back where they belong. The Hogs vanquished the Volunteers. Do you believe the Razorbacks are headed to the College World Series for the 12th time in program history? And folks, they did it in utter dominant fashion. 5-0 through the regionals and the supers. Make your plans for the College World Series. The Hogs are headed to Nebraska next weekend, and how sweet it is.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
You know I got it. So come and get it.
I got to give you credit on this because this was your idea to come in with this song this morning. 13-2. That is the record that Dave Van Horn holds over Tony Vitello since he's arrived in Knoxville. One much different this weekend as the Arkansas Razorbacks have advanced to the College World Series for the 8th time on their DVH, 12th time overall after an 11-4 victory over the Vols. Liam Doyle didn't make it through 4 innings. Tennessee only managed 7 runs through the course of 2 games, and you find yourself in a familiar place once again this weekend in Omaha, Nebraska.
Arkansas has only lost 4 games all season long in Baum-Walker Stadium, and obviously they are done playing there, and you could tell it was a special moment, one of those special days to be at Baum-Walker yesterday as Arkansas punched their ticket to the College World Series. Home field was so huge, 5-0 in the postseason as they make a 3-0 run last week in the regionals, 2-0 this weekend. The crowd deserves some credit, and they got a little bit of the celebration yesterday with the team marching up to the concourse and carrying the Super Regional trophy all the way around out to the hog pen.
You were there.
I was there. Special place. And I, there was a juxtaposition in the postgame I want to get to is Tennessee was on the field just as long as the Razorbacks following it, but obviously the separation from that infield to the outfield was a canyon yesterday in the emotions as Arkansas is headed to the College World Series and what looks to be a Saturday night date with LSU.
Mm-hmm. Colton, remind me who called us post-game that was also in attendance. It was a lady, I'm forgetting her name.
Jackie called us. She was headed back to Hartford, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Jackie, again, had a similar vantage point that you did this past weekend. And one of the things that I was just so happy about is like obviously season tickets and the reshuffling a couple years ago. There's been more than donations. Tickets are just generally higher nowadays, whether it's in the hog pen or in the infield and everything else. And so for that to happen for the first time ever, they've never done that before. First time they haven't dogpiled since this Dave Van Horn coach ball club has been an advance to the Supers at home to the College World Series or on the road for that matter. It was just such a kind gesture from this team. And it was kind of funny. The backstory on it was Aloy just kind of took off, and then the rest of the teammates followed him. So again, it was really cool. This is what the player said about it post game.
I think it was Lori. So he's kind of
we were supposed to just go on the field, and I think he just took it up the stairs, and we just followed him.
We just kept running. I was losing energy, but we just kept going.
He's silly.
And some threw a fish stuffed animal, and guys spilled a little beer on us. It was awesome. We went out to the hog pen, and everyone had their shirts off. It was awesome. That was so good. And then Steel Leaves jumped in the freaking pond. It was so cool.
Oh, country boy, you're not scared of them.
So the whole ensemble that happened after Steel Eves, who you heard Camden Coachell talking about, jumps in Lake Norm. I mean, there's videos all over the place and everything else. It was just it was one of the cooler instances that we've seen from this baseball team since Dave's been here since 2003.
But the highlight of the day, that was the cherry on top. The highlight was the way this team played over 2 days. The highlight was how they, gritted out a game one that had a lot of tension. Game two, it felt over by middle innings. I mean, and every time Tennessee started to stir a little bit on the base paths, Arkansas had an answer, and it generally came from pitching. But then they also, mashed out 11 runs too. So I mean, Tennessee kind of got what they had coming with their antics, their behavior. It felt even sweeter yesterday to get that win over Tennessee and Tony and the way his team came in here and their antics. But in the end, it's about baseball, and Arkansas had an answer for everything Tennessee presented them, and Arkansas was just really awesome on the mound and at the plate all weekend.
You mentioned the pitching. So Gibbler gets out of a jam at one point. Gates Wood gets Fisher to hit into a double play. They did score on that play, but there were just moments during that game, as you alluded to, where Tennessee looked like, okay, life is coming back. Falls might make it a game, and Arkansas just stood tall when the moments mattered. And it wasn't just Wood and Gibbler. You got good performances from Coyle, Fouch to close out the game and said something to the Tennessee bench after the fact. And then you look at Gackle and Root. One of the things we stressed on in the postgame is you think about the biggest 3 games for Zach Root this season. Number 1, Tennessee in town. He has a career high game. Regional last weekend. His first postseason game as an Arkansas Razorback, has a really good 6th-inning performance. And then does what he does in game 1 of the Super Regional. I mean, this kid, and I don't know in terms of he hadn't been here that long, but like legacies nowadays with transfers, it's you don't get to see him a lot. Some guys are just 1-year guys, but he is building a legacy here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and a guy that you expected to be maybe the second or third pitcher, but he's the number 1 dude on this baseball team, and it's not close. And everyone knows that, and that's why the SEC coaches voted him first team, and it's just cool to see him continuously have success in the biggest games that he's played in thus far.
Yeah. Arkansas pretty efficient yesterday, 11 runs on 10 hits. There were no Tennessee errors to put guys on base. Arkansas only stranded 7 runners yesterday. Tennessee had the same number in that column, but their 4 runs and 2 of them came, or 3 of the 4 came late in the game, came on 8 hits. Arkansas that's the kind of baseball, and I don't know how you bottle up yesterday, guys, but you play like that for 5 more games and you're going to be the national champion. 5-6 more games of that and you're in. Because now it's basically a regional format with the 4 teams on your half, and unfortunately you start with LSU. We can get to that conversation in a little bit later parts of the show. But you go win your first 2, you're in the catbird seat just like the regional. And if you can bottle up the way you played this weekend, particularly yesterday, with the match of great pitching and great hitting, I don't know how anyone else is going to stop you. That was championship baseball we saw this weekend.
Yeah, and 8 of the 9 guys in your batting order advanced and got on base. Justin Thomas had 2 walks, didn't get a hit. Ryder was the only one that didn't get a hit, and he went yard the day before. So productive overall from your entire batting order this weekend. Cahillo got his first hit of the postseason, so a lot of good things happening before you head to Omaha, Nebraska. Tommy mentioned LSU likely a 6 o'clock game. They've got the game times already set up. LSU being one of the premier baseball programs, just like yourself in college baseball, they're going to put you in prime time. They just haven't announced it yet. So plan on a 6 o'clock ESPN start this upcoming Saturday.
Still got 1 ticket to punch, right? Of
yes,
the 8,
Murray State and
so
Duke.
I would imagine, that's that game's tonight. So 7 of the 8 seats are filled at the table. I'm certain, figuring out how to get that behind them before they announce it officially. It'd probably be premature to announce all of the games and the times when you still don't know all of the teams yet. But
cool.
I'm with you. We know it's going to be Saturday because Arkansas had a Saturday start in their super regional, and I can't imagine Arkansas and LSU, which will be the premier game of the first 2 days. I can't imagine that game is not going to be your primetime game.
99%, 6 o'clock.
I would say you're right.
UCLA will play that winner of the Racers and the Blue Devils, and they are on your side of the bracket. So if Arkansas was to win, they'll play the winner of that game as well. So we'll have covered.
You could pretty much say, because that'd be a 1 o'clock game Eastern, 1 Central, 2 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's going to be the setup.
Yes, I would anticipate that as well. All right, we'll get in more of what our plans are this week. I'm going to drive down on Thursday. Phil, I know is going to get there.
I'd probably drive up, but
Yeah,
do
sorry,
what you
we're
want.
bomb north. Drive up. Sorry. As we get ready for our coverage here this week, we've had great super regional coverage all week long, thanks to Heath Roberts with State Farm, my insurance agent. He's helped me along the way with car insurance, home insurance. 479-452-4088. For Heath. He's a local guy and he works for a big company, does a great job. Also brought to you by ASU Mountain Home, the #1 community college in Arkansas, according to Wallet Hub. You can visit them on their website at asumh.edu. That's asumh.edu. And by First Star Bank for all of your first borrowing, saving, planning. Stopping at your local First Star Bank branch, your hometown banker with all the digital tools. So it was a good day and a good weekend for the Arkansas Razorbacks. And the Oklahoma City Thunder won last night.
Elvis Alexander off the bounce, gets inside, double clutch, counted and a foul. Chance for a three-point play. It's a great moment to have one of the best games of your career. Hartenstein up and over. 3 assists for the center. Hartenstein dives, comes up with a save. Elvis Alexander searching. One-on-one. Memoirs, good ball moving here. Russo finishes it off with a 3.
Discipline's good tonight. The discipline's bad. We got to be able to get better. Get ready for game 3.
I thought the atmosphere, I thought their crowd was exceptionally great. As we go home, we're going to need our crowd to be just like this crowd was. I mean, these fans took it to another level tonight.
This is the Morning Rush, and it's time for the opening drive.
So last night was a little nerve-wracking. You don't want to go down 0-2 if you're an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. They took care of business. Shea had like 34 last night. A lot of other guys contributed, and now you're going back to Indianapolis, to Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and see if you can steal one on the road.
Yeah, the other Jalen Williams, or the Jalen Williams in some people's estimates, stepped up last night and had a really good game. So defensively, they stepped up. What were y'all's takes after the Thursday night game? I didn't get to listen to you Friday as I was traveling, but how do you let that shot happen? I know that's ancient history at this point, but that was the difference in that game, and this is the defensive responsibility. You could just see that they made a decision. I know the game ended up 230 points or whatever combined, but in the end, it was better defense by the Oklahoma City Thunder that was the difference last night.
Yeah, pardon the alliteration, but Halliburton's just having a historical heater. He's just on a generational run in this playoff. Yeah, the clutchest I've ever seen.
When you let someone have a wide open shot with a second to go, I mean, these guys are pros. They're going to make those shots.
It was a good. I mean, Halliburton kind of put Case and Wallace on skates there, and got a jumper off. Caruso shouldn't have left. He should have left Siakam and double teamed him, but. Again, it's water.
Colton Michael Jordan would have never let that happen.
Maybe not, but last night was bread and butter. Was bread and butter for the Thunder.
It's 5. I mean, first Halliburton into 5 turnovers last night. Cal also was in attendance last night. I'm going to guess that he's going to be there maybe for Game 5 or Game 7 if it gets to that. It has been it's been an entertaining series thus far. Game 1 was just awesome. If you're a fan, obviously as an Oklahoma City fan, it sucked watching that shot go in at the tail end of the game. But again,
their only lead of the game.
Yeah, the one, and that. Yeah, you're right.
So now it's all about going to Indianapolis, and you got to win one. You got to turn. This is a best of 5 at this point. So how do you go win one on the road in these next 2, and make this at worst an even series going into to games 5, 6, and 7?
Yeah, I'm going to expect, just to be honest, that the Pacers win the game on Wednesday, and then I think Oklahoma City bounces back in the next game. It's a 2-2 heading back to OKC, and that game
then
is
a best of three,
yeah, and then a best of three. So it's been good thus far. And one of the things that I did not know about until someone pointed it out to me, you know who and you might not have seen this, you know who is an assistant on the Pacers, former Razorback? Gennaro Parker.
Yeah, I heard y'all talking about this last week. Yeah. I didn't know it either. I heard you talking about it one day last week.
And I don't know how I made it this deep in the postseason without realizing that was the case. But
I don't think that's the assistant coach a lot of fans are paying attention to with the Pacers.
Nope.
I don't think that's the one a lot of people have their eyes on, Ty, when they're looking at that bench over there. When he gets up and walks down,
is that right?
I don't think they're not paying attention to Gennaro. I'm sorry, they're not.
Even my wife noticed that, Coach Tommy, and she was like, I think I will root for the Pacers now.
Well, that is your opening drive this morning as Oklahoma City gets it done last night. Series tied 1-1, and now the next game number 3 in Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Wednesday. It is odd because, again, these names, and I realize sponsors, kind of like Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, it'll be something new this fall. But, I mean, even so, I've been so used to calling, like, Bankers Life Fieldhouse, because that's what it was when we went in 2021. And it used to be the Staples Center in L.A., and now it's the cryptocurrency or whatever it's called, the crypto arena. So I guess it's just part of having sponsorships, but I'm just used to calling it the old thing, like Altel Arena.
All right, that's your opening drive. The Fence Man is there for you. If you're looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong, the Fence Man can build it. 479-782-3936, serving Fort Smith and the surrounding areas for over 40 years. The Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high-security fencing. And if you need automatic gates, they're the call as well. The Fence Man does those. And if you need financing, the Fence Man can do that too with 18-month, same as cash financing. Get your free quote today. TheFenceManAR.com is their website. 479-782-3936 is their phone number. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
There's a lot of great clips from the baseball team this week, and whether it's from Dave Van Horn players or just kind of the interactions that the players had with fans. One of them, I thought, was the post-game huddle that Razorback Baseball shared after the game.
Fall, we knew this team could make it to Omaha. I started packing my suitcase a month ago. Yeah! So you know where we're going on Wednesday. We're going north, Omaha, Nebraska.
And that's home for Cam Kojal, which is a cool moment. And I didn't realize that I think Dave listed off 2 players, Duggar, and I can't think the other kid's name in 2004, that he's had former Razorbacks on his squads that have also been former residents of Omaha, Nebraska. But I know, again, Cam was really excited about that, as was the rest of Razorback Nation, just getting to go back home. And
one of them said, sleep over at the Kojals.
Yeah, that's what Cam said. I don't have that clip, but Cam did say that.
Cam has said that? I was reading it.
He's excited. The rest of the team's excited talking about this. But listen to this clip. I think it was the first thing said by a player after the game. It was Charles Chuck Davalon talking about just what they're trying to achieve.
We want to win a natty, bad for him. He deserves it. We'll give it all we got in Omaha for him, for sure.
And that was directly following the motions that spilled out of Dave Van Horn after the game, and not to say that he hasn't been fiery and emotional over the, 22 years he's been there, but what he did after the game was not typical. Have you gotten a chance to watch that yet?
Yeah.
Okay. It was pretty.
He normally doesn't have. He normally doesn't let his emotions bear out, but he did yesterday.
So happy for, everybody involved with the program, especially, more than anything, the players, because they're the ones that do all the work. They're the ones that win the games. And so happy that, they're going to finish this season in Omaha. I don't know. Just means a lot.
He's got he puts his hat over his face at one point. But again, that, and not that he hasn't gotten emotional in the 2+ decades he spent here in Fayetteville, but I can't, and I know there's people out there that follow baseball a lot closer than I do, but I can't think of an instance or a moment like that I've seen after a win. I've seen it after losses before because most coaches are like that after losses. It's just it's an intense situation. All of a sudden, all the work, all the effort you put in over the course of a season comes to a crashing halt and a crashing end. But in this case, I don't think this is necessarily typical than we've seen in 2+ decades.
I'm not saying the end is now, but the end is near, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's the end of this year that, he's going to have a John Elway ending here and win the national title and retire. I'm just saying there's not very many more trips to Omaha left, whether he coaches 2 more years, 5 more years. And I think these become even more meaningful, more special. I think also he's become a grandfather. And one of the pictures I saw from the field is him holding those twin grandbabies. That changes you emotionally. That changes you as a person. I've seen it in members of my family and how their emotions have softened. So I don't think Dave, he's a human being, and things like your family growing up and seeing your grandkids come along and having something like this. I mean, I think it all factors into who he is now. So, I'm happy. I'm happy for everybody involved, but I think his life is coming, to the cherry on top right now, and this is just another swirl of whipped cream, if you will.
Yeah. What were your emotions this weekend as Arkansas is going to the College World Series for the 8th time under Dave Van Horn, the 12th time overall in the history of the program? We're going to have the Lewis Automotive Group hotline open for you at 877-377-6963. And we're also going to be joined here coming up in the 10 o'clock hour by Jack DeLongchamps. He was there live for 11.7, a college baseball podcast and D1 baseball. He took it all in this weekend, so we'll get some in-depth perspective from him as we continue on the morning rush.
All right, Wednesday night, 7:30 is when the NBA Finals resume with Game 3 from Indianapolis. Pacers right now, a home underdog.
Wow.
Oklahoma City right now on the Bet Saracen app laying 5.5. So you can check that out at betsaracen.com and figure all of that out. I kind of interesting that they're the road favorite by that many points. So, hey, if you're going to Omaha this week, take along the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell. If you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered, and we got you covered with all the coverage from Omaha right here on ESPN Arkansas on the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell.
When we come back, Hog Update, going to hear more from Dave Van Horn, the players. Want to hear from you as well this morning. Arkansas, again, moving on to Omaha, Nebraska. Also, a few other things we want to kick around, including the House settlement as we continue on a Hot Take Monday.
Hogs are going to the Supers.
And the Rooster. Yep, he's strutting to the dugout.
Our exclusive coverage of the 2025 Fayetteville Super Regionals is brought to you by State Farm Insurance Agent Heath Roberts, ASU Mountain Home, and by First Star Bank.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
But the most important game is your very next game.
This is the Morning Rush.
Dozy
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Don't take less when you can have it all with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. There's the $5 Classic box full of craveable faves. The $7 Supreme box for your swankier side. And the $9 Cantina Lux box has a whole world of tasty indulgences, including the slow-roasted Cantina Chicken Burrito. Get Lux for less with the $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Roback's got the gear for your perfect summer days.
East Coast summers living on the run. Now the beachfront nights, 5,000 thunderstorms. Won't you kiss me, darling? Tell me that you're gonna stay. Yeah. Give me those East Coast summers, Maryland to Maine. Now the seaside.
Shop polos, hoodies, Q-zips, and much more in the American Summer Collection at Roback.com.
Roback made finding the perfect pair of pants or shorts much easier. They're a clean fit with comfortable premium fabric. They look great on and off the golf course. So shop at Roback.com for the Delta pants and shorts.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, and even live in-game betting while the games are being played. We keep the dog days of summer rolling with the largest selection of odds on everything. With updated odds on the MLB, UFC, and boxing to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
7 down. This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody, woo big doing. This is your hog update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
The 1-2 to Maxwell. Hit in the air, left field, gonna carry. Going back is Bargo. Bargo's at the wall. He leaps out of here. A grand slam by Logan Maxwell. They have the turkey on the table. They've taken the biggest bite they can have. Maxwell with his 13th of the year, the 8th grand slam for the Homer and Hogs. 7-1.
How about that? being the first ever Grand Slam for Logan Maxwell, whose journey is quite interesting, being that he was on that TCU team 2 years ago that beat you in Baum-Walker, and now he's a part of a College World Series team for the Razorbacks, but first ever career Grand Slam for Logan Maxwell.
Anyone else notice that the fact every time Tennessee went to the mound and had a mound visit, it seemed like something really good happened for Arkansas. There was a mound visit right in front of that homer, and it seemed like next pitch, mound visit, either the pitching coach comes out, the catcher goes out, next pitch, bam, something great happened. That was one example of it.
That was one of his three hits yesterday, and it was, again, an outstanding performance by him, and you could only just sit and laugh watching Liam Doyle.
That'll be the end of the line for Doyle, who's not happy.
No, he's not.
What did you think of Vitella's decision to take him, to yank him? Didn't even make it 4 innings, and then, of course, that happens after the fact. Was that hindsight's always 20/20. Tony got asked about it after the game. He mentioned that he wasn't hitting his spots. He felt like Doyle pitching on Monday had an effect on him yesterday. But now looking back at it, you wonder if he had kept him in, if better things had happened for Tennessee at that moment.
Doyle tagged with 5 earned runs on 5 hits. So, I mean, I can see, and that he was 73 pitches in when he was lifted. So, say 2 walks on 6 strikeouts. That's not a horrible ratio, but he was in a jam there. So I certainly understand why you want to go lift him at that point.
Well, Logan Maxwell got asked after the game, just like, hey, what it's like to head to Omaha, and he kind of expanded on an answer.
I have a national championship in mind, but the first step's going to Omaha, and then the next one's going to Natty.
And I know this clip has been played over and over again.
Job's not finished. Job finished? No, I don't think so.
From the late Kobe Bryant, because that was something similar that Ryder Helfrich said. You heard that from Logan Maxwell. Charles Dablon in the postgame alluded to it. You also had Cam Kojal kind of allude to that same line of thinking as well. And this is the first time I look back on it. This is the first time, I don't know if there's any significance behind this, but in the previous 7 College World Series wins, and maybe it was just because the game was so out of reach and not even a contest by the end. I know that Tennessee hit that 2-run shot late, but this is the first time you haven't seen this team dogpile on the way to the College World Series, whether at home or on the road.
Yeah, I had my phone out ready to video that so we could, put that on our social media channels and all those things, and then it just didn't happen. In fact, I wouldn't say they rushed out of the bullpen either. It was more so than a normal win, but they went through the same procedure, if you will, the high-fiving, the team going down the line like they normally do. But, I think it was very businesslike in some ways. And I think it's telling about this team's mindset, the fact that they didn't dogpile. Was that spontaneous to not do that? Or was that a predetermined decision? I don't know, but they didn't do it.
I listened to so Davalon. It was Davalon or Kojal. I think it was Davalon talking about this after game. He said, "Yeah, I was anticipating ready to run and jump in, and then he, I guess, watched the rest of his teammates not do that." You mentioned the celebration was a little subdued. It was more than just an average series win, being that the fact that you're going to Omaha. But I just thought that was an interesting end to the game. And I mean, they had the Ole Miss game out of hand back in 2019, as did they had the South Carolina one back in 2018. Some of the recent ones, so but they did it then, so we'll see.
I want to go back to what you said. Was it the fact that the final outcome was 11-4 and it really wasn't that close? This game, if you were in the ballpark, had the feeling like it was over from the 4th inning. When Arkansas put that 5 spot up, it's like, all right, now we're just waiting to get there. And I kept saying, man, that's 15 more outs. There's a lot of baseball to cover that kind of lead at that point. And Arkansas got a couple more insurance runs down the stretch, but I think some of that was if Arkansas had won in some kind of heroic fashion, if Arkansas had won that game 4-3 like they did, something more similar to the fashion of game 1, I think maybe the celebration is different. But because there wasn't there wasn't any suspense in the outcome for a while, for like 2 hours, I think that probably led to maybe the more subdued celebration. But in the end, hey, I'm kind of glad they didn't dogpile because no one got hurt that way.
Yeah. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning here on a Hot Take Monday. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
So we know 7 of the 8 teams in the College World Series. Louisville's going to get Oregon State on the other side of the bracket. Arizona takes on Coastal Carolina, who defeated Auburn in Auburn this past weekend. UCLA will play the winner of Murray State and Duke, which is going to take place today, and then Arkansas and LSU, which I, again, would anticipate being the 6 o'clock game Saturday on ESPN, just based on the brands of both those squads.
So I would imagine sometime later tonight we'll get full game times. We know game days at this point. In Arkansas, I think you're right, 99% likely to play the primetime game on Saturday night. Hey, if you're looking for football season tickets, they're available now at ArkansasRazorbacks.com. Won't be long, or single-game tickets are available as well. Get online right now and get your regular season ticket package. They're available at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
All right, when we come back, we've got our Morning Rush daily question here on a Hot Take Monday. Some text to get to here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline as well. Plenty of reaction. How about the beating one of the Golden Spikes finalists in Liam Doyle for the second time this season, shutting down Fisher for most of the weekend? An outstanding performance from your Razorback baseball team, and that's why they're heading to Omaha, Nebraska.
I guess there's pros and cons to procreating.
Most of the pros are over at the very beginning of the process.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
A dude calling for it. He's got it with 5 to shoot. Richmond comes to get it. His jumper. Yes! Billy the Kid with a big bucket.
This is the Morning Rush.
Take your dining to a whole new level at Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant. You'll find the finest cuts of steak and the freshest seafood in an amazing atmosphere. Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant is at Chaffee Crossing, across from the Arkansas Colleges of Health Education on Chad Colley Drive. When your night deserves the best, call 597-4081 for reservations or book online at Toast. Blue Point Seafood and Steak Restaurant, your destination for not only great food, but an amazing experience.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Avoid the door knockers and storm chasers. We are local and we will be here long after the storm chasers are gone.
Check out PatriotBrothersRoofing.com or call 479-652-9479.
Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with extra rebates for a limited time. Kofer's features low pontoons and fishing boats, Malibu and Acmes wake surf boats, Caymas bass boats, and Kofer's has recently added the luxury line of Harris pontoons. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all of your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service is second to none. Plus, they have the best boat storage option in town. Find them online at Kofers.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971.
You've got the shoes, now finish the run strong. At True Grit Running Company, we've got the gear that goes the extra mile. Socks that fit and protect your feet and improve how the shoes fit, feel, and perform. Hydration bottles, packs, and belts to keep you going through the hot summer. And OOFOS recovery sandals and shoes, your feet will thank you. Because running isn't just about the miles, it's about the details. Come see the gear at True Grit Running Company, where every step counts. 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Have you heard? TGI Fridays is having happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. to close with half-price drinks and $5 select appetizers, including potato skin, spinach dip, pot stickers, and much more. Plus, you can get in on 50-cent Wing Monday from 5 p.m. to close. And karaoke on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 8 p.m. It's all at TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
That Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Kristen's Place in Lowell online at CarpathSocial.com.
Let me ask a hypothetical. Well, I don't even know if hypothetical is the right way to frame this question, but one that's not going to happen. So maybe it is hypothetical. But should the College World Series, when you get to this point, you're down to your last 8 teams that have all survived and advanced, should there be a reseeding at this point? Does it feel right that, Arkansas and LSU, who to me feel like, I know Coastal Carolina is playing some really good baseball right now. Everybody's playing good ball to get here. Don't mishear me, but it feels like, and maybe we're just SEC homers, but it feels like Arkansas and LSU are the premier teams left. Anyone disagree with that? Should there be a reseeding of the College World Series when you get to this point?
I don't think so.
Take the teams that were in the 1 through 8, and they become 1, 2, whatever, and then you use your national. You're seeding the rest of the way.
I don't think so. Every team
you've already seeded the field once. Should it be reseeded again?
Yeah, 7 to 8. These teams are decided. Murray State or Duke will advance tonight. I think that's just the bias coming out of us that we don't want to have to play LSU. Arkansas and LSU very well may be the two best teams of it. But I mean, you play teams on your schedule. LSU's on your schedule. That'd be like, to me, that's like reseeding the Final Four. Or the Sweet 16. I know people are in favor of that. No. It's a schedule we're dealt. We talked about LSU being on the other side. First team you'd have to play if you got to this point. Well, now you've gotten to this point. They got to this point. Throw the ball and let's go. And this isn't the first time you played LSU, obviously, this season. Not the first time you played LSU before. They beat you in 2009 on the way to their national championship. I think that was Maneri, if I remember that right. Chad Jones in that team. So listen, life's not fair. Maybe it's not fair you're playing LSU, but no, I don't think you should reseed it.
Colton, reseed or no reseed?
Yeah, I'm with Ty. You can't just pick and choose the moments when you want to change the rules because they'd make you feel better. And I understand what everybody is saying and the argument for the fact that, look, these are two of the best teams, and in a different scenario when the rest of the league can carry their water a little bit, maybe there would have been some more premier matchups that there would have been more eyes on. But right now, we're all assuming that the game at 6 o'clock on Saturday, the primetime slot's going to be for the two biggest brands that are left, where the most eyes will be on the television. So obviously, you'd wish that you could have things fall to your advantage, but they don't reseed March Madness in the NCAA
But the question
tournament.
is, should they?
No,
not
they
the question is not just because Arkansas is in it, but should this should this at this point be reseeded so the best teams do have the 1-8 advantage?
Jordan agrees with you. He says they should. Cliff just says to play the games. Yeah. Tanner and Tupelo says screw LSU. They're worried about playing Arkansas. Mason and Conway says, I think if they were originally seeded well, but there were so many upsets, it seems like in the regionals and supers to this point, one of those being Coastal Carolina defeating Auburn. Troy and Harrison says LSU probably doesn't want to play us, and Ryan at Prairie Grove says, no, I want them. Let's not wait. Let's play them right away. So what do you think? We've given our no.
Well, obviously you're not going to reseed it for this event, but is that something that should be considered moving forward? I think there's certainly a conversation. I'm kind of honestly split on it, 50-50, because I'm like you. You're not going to do it for this year. We do have a little bit of bias because our team's in it. It seems to be a disadvantage to both LSU and Arkansas to square off game one of the College World Series. We got more thoughts on that. Maybe we'll get to tomorrow, but so it would be convenient this year. But I think that's something you should look at down the road. So yes, I do think it should be reseeded at some point in the future. Whoever the committee is that has oversight for this championship, I think should take a look at it. Absolutely.
Ryan in Prairie Grove says breeding LSU on. Bailey from Mountain Home said they reseed the JUCO World Series. JT Hot Springs says no reseeding. I like having LSU first this upcoming weekend. So some split thoughts here on our Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. He says beat them and send them to the losers bracket. All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. It's a good one. Should the NCAA consider reseeding the College World Series starting in 2026? Well, we've been telling you about it. Arkansas now a part of the College World Series, and they've got a big weekend ahead with Cart Pass Social, including a family golf day with First Tee Northwest Arkansas, which is this Saturday from 9 to 11 a.m. It is free. There's a free drive, chip, and putt contest here at Cart Pass Social. Kids can decorate their own golf balls. Adults can decorate their own gloves. A great way to just enjoy yourself with the kids, with the family this weekend. Go by Cart Pass Social, 122 Grant Place in Lowell, or sign up online at cartpasssocial.com. It's always BYOB at Cart Pass Social.
So what do you think? If you got a thought on reseeding or the postseason in general, you can call us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years.
Double D's in Bentonville this morning. He wanted to talk about the send-off from yesterday. Double D, fire away, man.
Yes. Do you know if there's an organized send-off for the team and what time they're leaving? And do they fly out of XNA?
So Dave Van Horn mentioned in the postgame they're going to fly out Wednesday. I don't know, Tommy, if it's going to be Drake or XNA.
There has been in the past, and I don't think the details probably been set, generally a send-off from Baum Walker. When they load the buses to go to the airport, generally there's a some kind of, several hundred, maybe 1,000 fans will show up for that. So, yes, I would imagine Double D, they'll maybe give us some insight as to what time they're leaving, and fans can arrive for that.
Okay, can y'all put that on the radio when you find out, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You might have it, honestly, from Phil. Phil might update everyone here listening on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com later on today. And that is the benefit of having not just a great co-host here on ESPN Arkansas, but the voice of Razorback baseball, that not only do you get great content from 11 and 2, but you also get kind of an inside track of what's going on with the team and what they're I'm going to guess.
Did they write you a check? I mean, what's going on?
No, I'm not going to lie. I got a little emotional. Like we mentioned Dave's emotion after the game. I got a little emotional watching my guy with his daughter directly behind him. Bubba's got his wife directly behind him. And I was in my feels. So I want to give Phil a shout out this morning. Not paid. It's unpaid.
Get that lump in your throat?
Yeah. I mean, just seeing how excited she got and how excited Phil's got his glasses on and gives him a great call at the tail end of the game. So I got a little emotional when it comes to talking about my guy, and I'm just always for Phil when it comes to that situation. It was a good final call. If you missed it on Sunday yesterday, here's what it was.
Set by Fouch, 2-2 pitch. He
He struck him out swinging. Omaha for the Razorbacks in 2025. Back where they belong. The Hogs vanquish the Volunteers. Do you believe? The Razorbacks are headed to the College World Series for the 12th time in program history, and folks, they did it in utter dominant fashion. 5-0 through the regionals and the supers. Make your plans for the College World Series. The Hogs are headed to Nebraska next weekend, and how sweet it is.
So a couple takeaways from that call. You've yet to lose an actual real postseason game. Hoover doesn't count. No one cares. So you've lost only 4 games, as you alluded to earlier in the hour, at home. You've been dominant at Baum Walker Stadium. Hopefully we can say the same. Tommy, if they do lose, now, again, we can talk about the importance more in depth this week of beating LSU this upcoming Saturday, but I am curious how this team does respond, because they haven't lost in 5 games in postseason. We've seen, again, this team bounce back from that losing streak earlier, kind of at the mid to late part of SEC play, but it's not just impressive that the fact that, again, they're advancing to Omaha, but I mean, you look at the closest game being game 1 of the Super Regional, but outside of that, the 4 of the games weren't really close. I mean, the closest differential was a 4-run game in the regional, and outside of that, that's just, I mean, again, this team is dominating right now.
Well, I mean, obviously winning game 1 is paramount in the format you're playing in. Winning the first 2 games is even bigger. And my guess is you're going to have to beat LSU, or LSU is going to have to beat Arkansas a couple times to get to the championship round. So, I don't want to underestimate UCLA and then Murray State or Duke, whoever wins that tonight on the other half of your 4-team pod. But it feels that way going in. May end up being wrong on that. But, it's, I think some of it, to what you're asking, is how does the game turn out for either LSU or Arkansas? If it's a 1-run game and you're in it, man, I don't think you're going to get too down on yourself. Yeah. If the emotions of yesterday for either team overwhelm you for this, I think both coaches and both programs and their rosters are way too experienced to let that happen. So I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think what happened yesterday and advancing Omaha is going to affect either LSU or Arkansas. So how you bounce back is important, but I think it's also how you lose dictates that as well.
I just want to know what's going to happen when we play LSU on a neutral site, because that series is a lot closer than people can kind of remember. You lost that first game in extra innings because they started the game at a stroke before midnight. It's a 5-4 game. The second game, just forget that happened. You ended up winning, the game on the third day. So you get the LSU team in a neutral site somewhere like Omaha. I think that plays to your advantage. You have a much better chance. They have a great pitching staff, arguably the best 1-2 punch in the entire country, but like you said, if this team has been as hot as they have all year long, should be a great series.
Well, one of the key stats from this weekend that stood out to me is Arkansas is now 29-2 this season when scoring first. So we can talk about fast starts in football, basketball, and baseball, but when this team gets that first run on the board like they did in games 1 and 2, 90-something% of the time you're going to go on to win that game, and hopefully that have success. And how about, again, there's a lot of heroes. Maxwell is the hero for yesterday for the Grand Slam and everything. But how about the weekend Charles Davalon had? He has 3 hits, 3 walks, another outstanding performance yesterday. Tony Vitello was giving him credit after the game. I mean, there's so many of these transfer players, and one of the points that Colton and I were kicking around yesterday, Tommy, is when you look at the composition of this team and how many guys are transfer players, how many guys that just came over this past offseason, and yet they've all assimilated and come together. And that was one of the encouraging things Dave Van Horn was talking about in the postgame. And you hear it from coaches all the time, how much they like each other and everything else. But I don't think that could be undersold, how quickly this team came together this season as a lot of transfer guys a part of this roster.
Sometimes it's just about personalities and egos and all that clicking. And this team seems to be one that likes each other, and they want to hang around for another few weeks with each other. Hey, when it's time to spruce up your existing home or even build a brand new one, let me tell you about our friends at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas, because they're there to help you with the financing options every step of the way to help you find the best one for you and your situation. Visit myaglender.com or drop by any of Farm Credit's 25 locations today and get started on building more family memories. That's myaglender.com or any of the 25 locations for Farm Credit of Western Arkansas.
All right, so in hour number 2, we've got more from Dave Van Horn. Jack DeLongchamps is going to join us at 10:30 with D1 Baseball and 11.7 College Baseball Podcast. He was in Bomb Blocker this weekend. A lot more perspective from all of us coming up next.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Mega Millions now has better odds, bigger prizes, and the highest starting jackpot in America. Top prizes start at $50 million and increase rapidly until someone wins. What else is new? How about no more break-even prizes? Win anywhere from 2 to 10 times your bet. And the multiplier? It's no longer an add-on. Mega Millions is always $5 per play, bells and whistles included. Play today in stores or on the go. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in supporting growing communities. That's why we're committed to putting home ownership within reach. Whether it's your first home, a fixer-upper, or your forever home, we have a variety of loan options to help make your dream home a reality. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank, we believe. Equal housing lender.
This is The Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Do you love cooking and being a part of a great team? Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and I was talking to Linda Newmeyer the other day. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, Newmeyer's Rib Room, and Newmeyer's Whippoorwill are hiring kitchen staff. Stop by any of the 3 restaurants in downtown Fort Smith. I used to work at a pizza place back in the day. Maybe I'd give it a shot. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the Whippoorwill, and Rib Room. Apply today and join the Newmeyer family.
You're hired. Come back tomorrow at noon for training.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a chance of some isolated showers or thunderstorms, otherwise periods of sunshine. Our high temperatures today in the low to mid 80s, mainly clear upper 50s to the low 60s tonight. And then tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a high mid to upper 80s, back in the mid to upper 80s midweek. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
He hit it over the video board. It's swimming with the fishes.
Your home for Razorback baseball all season long right here. ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 82 days.
From a jam-packed Bob Walker Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas, the Razorbacks taking on 14-seed Tennessee.
Roots 3-2 pitch. He struck him out swinging. They love it.
I love it. Sit down. You think he's not fired up? That's 3,005 RPM.
The set and the pitch. Swing and a fly ball left field. Didn't get all of it. Bargo's at the wall. It's out of here. He didn't get all of it, but it still leaves the park. And Ryder Helfrich has given them the lead. 2-2. He struck him swinging. And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Job's not finished. We got one more.
Lefty is set and the pitch. Swing and a drive. Right field. A rocket headed to the Hunt Center. Here. Davalon was sitting dead red and crushes his 14th. 1-2 to Maxwell. Hit in the air, left field, gonna carry. Going back is Bargo. Bargo's at the wall. He leaps out of here. A grand slam by Logan Maxwell. 2-2 pitch. He struck him out swinging. Omaha for the Razorbacks in 2025. Back where they belong. The Hogs vanquished the Volunteers. Do you believe the Razorbacks are headed to the College World Series for the 12th time in program history? And folks, they did it in utter dominant fashion. 5-0 through the regionals and the supers. Make your plans for the College World Series. The Hogs are headed to Nebraska next weekend, and how sweet it is.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
You know I got it, so come and get it.
13-2, the record that Dave Van Horn holds over Tony Vitello since he got to Knoxville, Tennessee. As the head baseball coach, the Razorbacks advanced after an 11-4 victory over the Volunteers this weekend and have won the Fayetteville Super Regional. Hour number 2 of the Morning Rush rolls on here on a Hot Take Monday. You know what? The sense of relief I know came over Dave Van Horn, players, and the fan base as well. He talked about that following the game. We'll jump into that conversation as we get going here in hour number 2.
Hot Takes this hour brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions. They've opened a second location in Sallisaw, Oklahoma. And if you're looking to get yourself a first-class attorney, a championship attorney, Jackie Mock is the one with Mock Legal Solutions. In fact, Jackie has over 13 years of experience with car wrecks, slip and fall cases, dog bite cases, family law, divorce, custody issues. If you've got a legal matter that you need proper representation, Jackie is the one for you. 479-769-1505. She also has compassion and understands that, hey, you don't have $5,000 for a retainer. That's why they make it easy to understand with flat fees. Also, low down payments and easy monthly payments that you can afford as well. Go to mocklegalsolutions.com. That's mocklegalsolutions.com or call 769-1505.
Just a little bit of relief, to be honest with you. The last couple of years have been a little tough, and losing on your own field. So, relief.
That was how he described that win yesterday. And you think about, again, what happened last year against SEMO, year before against TCU. Didn't get it done, unfortunately, against NC State back in 2020-21. Yes, you did go to Omaha in 22, but you went through Stillwater in North Carolina. So it was nice for this fan base to not only watch this team win, but just the added bonus of the team celebrating all across the concourse, in the infield, in the hog pen, also jumping in Lake Norm. I mean, you were there, Tommy. You took it all in yesterday. I
did everything but jump in the lake.
That would just be Steel Eves that did that. I was surprised that another player or two didn't follow him after. I don't know if he had a bet.
I don't know if you get all them. I don't know if all that mud stain will come out.
Well, they and I'm forgetting
Mark Taylor. So already got it done, baby.
Yep, I see. He's is his title the equipment manager? Maybe I don't want to miss that wrong, but yeah, they already put that up on social. What he looked like before, and then what he looked like after. So that was
That's one of them
cool.
that you did that when you were a kid. Your mama was hosing you off before you came in the house.
Yeah, we had
you just stand out in the garage or on the patio and get the water hose.
We had this rule when I was working at Five Guys when I was in high school that I had to leave all my clothes out in the garage because of the stench that came after the fact. And I would guess that Steele probably didn't make it too close to that locker room without taking and stripping down to his drawers and giving that to Mr. Taylor.
I would say that all of the things that went on that haven't happened before, the march around the concourse, through the hog pen, out to the lake, out to Lake Norm, all of that was better than a dog pile.
Yeah.
Because the fans got to be a part of it. We got to high-five the players as they came by, all of them. Not one of them, not 5 or 6 or 7 of them, all of them. They brought it to the people. They hoisted the trophy. They let you feel like you were connected and a part of it. And generally, that wall and that barrier and that fence down there, that netting, keeps you from really being connected and feeling part of it. I think everyone that stayed felt like they were part of it. And I couldn't help but notice, as Arkansas fans were staying and sticking around to celebrate, as the team was taking pictures and videos on the field, as Coach Van Horn was embracing his family and hugging his grandchildren, out in left field, out in left center, stood the Tennessee Volunteers. They were hugging. They were saying their goodbyes. They were embracing each other, but in a much different mood. And it just struck me as you looked at both groups out there. That's what sports is all about. The thrill of victory, and just right over here, the agony of defeat. Chuck talked about it all the time when he was with us on the Morning Rush, that, that group for Tennessee, much like every team at some point is going to face, it's the last time that group of human beings will ever be together. And you could feel the emotion coming off Tennessee. You could feel it coming from left center yesterday, as they were out there as long as the Hogs were. That's what sports is all about. That emotion, that feel that we all got yesterday in winning, because we've been on the other side of that. We've stood in those stands watching the other team celebrate, wondering what just happened. And now the defending national champions were standing out there wondering the same thing. For all the grief Tony gets, and he got a lot of grief from the fans, to the point that they had to post a police officer down by the dugout in middle innings just because some of our fans were acting just plain stupid. He did show class after the game. He maybe doesn't show class in every moment, and it reflects in his team, but after the game, you could see the hugs and the congratulations, and I don't want to say sense of joy for his friends, but this idea that Dave Van Horn and Tony hate each other, that these staffs hate each other, you could tell after the game that wasn't true either.
Yeah,
all the emotions were out there on that field following the game, all of them.
Here's Vitello after the game.
Referring to hitting and Gibbler, I mean, he's good, but
They got like 4 of those guys left-handed.
Pitching staff, not the actual staff. But no, he did share after the game talking about that he does miss some of the staff members on Arkansas, and I'll give him credit. I was annoyed with him multiple times this weekend, but for him to stick around and congratulate the players and the staff, and particularly the embrace that him and DVH shared after the game, that's not always easy to do. So I'll give him credit, at least in that category.
He's a smart butt. The way he carries himself, there's a degree of, not a degree. There's a good scotch of cockiness that goes along with it. But that goes with the territory of all the things he's accomplished. I was 7 rows behind their dugout. If you drew a line from where he stood in the game at the end of that railing, I was basically 7 rows behind him. He wasn't inciting fans. I mean, I didn't like the way they threw to first, seemingly like a reflex yesterday. I didn't like some of the delays and the way they came out, and I don't think all of it was as calculated as we like to give them credit for, but I think some of it was as well. I think it was about getting Arkansas off the rhythm. But that's what if that's what you feel you've got to do to win the game, that's what you do. Would you want Dave Van Horn to sit on some kind of ploy or strategy that he thought would help Arkansas win? Of course not. So, I mean, I still don't understand, and I don't want to say I wasn't to the point I was clutching pearls and embarrassed, but there were fans not even seated in section 110 or 11 that were running down that aisle, getting right behind the dugout and just lacing him with profanities and then running back away. I didn't understand that at all. He brings out the worst in people.
One of them did get ejected and escorted by security.
Yeah,
I don't know who it was.
I'm sitting right there, and they escorted him out once he got back to the top, but they had to post a university police officer, a Fayetteville police officer, right at the netting. I hated it for the people sitting around because now you've got this guy having to do his job, looking like he's ready to rip someone's head off, standing there blocking someone's field of vision, right at the net. I mean, it's just stupid how some people have to behave.
Yeah, that's the I saw it firsthand when Arkansas beat Tennessee in football this past season. I saw some interactions from our fans that were not exactly kind with the opposing fan base, and it happens. It probably would have been something similar if we were in Knoxville, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we are alone doing that. But
do you see anyone in any fan base running down and just dog cussing Dave Van Horn?
No, but I think your point's well made about Vitello.
He brings some of it on himself, but we don't have to fall into that trap.
Yeah.
And we can represent ourselves in a better way.
And Bouch fell into it a little this weekend. Root fell into it a little this weekend. I mean, again, it's the entire team. And Fisher obviously brings out a certain type of that, just as his head coach does. But at the end of the day, you're advancing to the College World Series. They're going back to Knoxville, and that's the most important thing. Also got an update from Dave Van Horn. I know people asking about Aiden after the game.
It wasn't his elbow, and that's where he had surgery before. It was more up in here. We think he might have just kind of cramped up a little bit, so he told me he was fine.
You did use 5 pitchers yesterday, but, I mean, Gibbler's the one that spent the most amount of time out there. He didn't even go 3 innings, so I mean, you're going to have...
Freshman, right?
So you're going to have a lot of guys that you can... Mac didn't pitch the entire weekend.
Nope.
You're got a lot of guys that you have the opportunity to use. And with it being a Saturday, you're going to pitch Root. He's going to have a full week of rest because he pitched on Saturday. So you're going to have...
I was hoping Mac would get in final time at Baum Walker, but, there's bigger things ahead. But I was hoping to see him at least for a batter yesterday.
And he's, again, he talked about listening to him after the game, just coming back to Arkansas.
Best decision ever to come back. I mean,
Right
best
there,
fans in the nation. I mean, one of the best offenses in the nation right here. One of the best guys you have me right here. Even better teammate. Great pitcher, by the way. We're going to Omaha. We're going to win this one for Max. Norm Jr.
That's Justin Thomas that was with him as they're walking from Lake Norm after the game. So really cool to see the fan base not only get to experience it firsthand like you're talking about with the team, but also the guys after the fact. We don't know, unless it's been tweeted out or announced here in the last 5 minutes, and I haven't seen it. We don't know the official game time for the LSU matchup this Saturday, but if you put 2 and 2 together, there's a 1 o'clock game, there's a 6 o'clock game. They're not going to put UCLA versus Murray State or UCLA versus Duke in the 6 o'clock game. You're going to play Saturday night at 6 on ESPN. It's just a matter of the public announcement that'll get made later today.
What time? Because I don't know. I know it's Wednesday night for the next NBA Finals. When would Game 4 be?
Friday at 7:30.
Okay, so that won't be a conflict. So no, I don't see anything or any reason why anyone programming these games or setting these schedules up wouldn't wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and it's on ABC, so you wouldn't even have one.
Right, but ABC. But you wouldn't maybe you'd want to not compete with that, but that's not even a factor.
Thunder did win last night.
They only lost 2 in a row twice in the regular season. They have yet to lose back-to-back games in this playoff run. The NBA Finals are tied at 1 game apiece.
Now, they will head back to Indianapolis for this game on Wednesday, and then Game 4, like we were talking about, will be Friday night.
Well, it was good to see the kids in the pool last night. I got home and took Dylan to the game, and all the kids cooled off because it was a warm day at the ballpark in the pool in the backyard. If you're imagining a backyard full of fun and relaxation, it's not too late with Burton Pools and Spas. They can make it happen, and they can make it happen now. During the Doughboy Super Sale, up to $1,500 off Doughboy above-ground pools. 18-foot coastal pools are on sale for just $75 a month, and that's installed because I don't want to put it together. You don't want to put it together. Let's let Burton's do that for us. And they got a 12 by 24 oval semi-in-ground pool starting at just $16,999. These deals will not last all summer, so hurry now to Burton Pools and Spas. 4 locations now around the state: Fort Smith, Springdale, Greenland, and now in Hot Springs at 916 Airport Road. Burton Pools and Spas. Find them online at burtonpools.com.
We're going to Omaha.
It's Cam Kojal, an Omaha native, talking about the excitement of heading there this weekend to the Emerald City. We're heading to another break here on ESPN Arkansas. When we return, SEC update, give you more of a look at what's happening this weekend in the College World Series. One other SEC team who you'll play on Saturday, the LSU Tigers, plus the House settlement has come down. We'll get into that coming up.
Hogs are going to the Supers.
And the Rooster. Yep, he's strutting to the dugout.
Our exclusive coverage of the 2025 Fayetteville Super Regionals is brought to you by State Farm Insurance Agent Heath Roberts, ASU Mountain Home, and by First Star Bank.
Evan Cohen here. We all know breakfast is an important part of your day. But when you're traveling for work and your hotel doesn't offer any, you're forced to make do with peanuts and an energy bar as you sprint off to your shift. But if you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you can enjoy their free Bright Side breakfast featuring delicious baked goods, fruit, eggs, yogurt, and waffles. They refuse to let you go to work hungry and aim to send you off fueled up. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow you shine. Book direct at LQ.com.
Hi, this is Kevin Harlan of CBS, TNT, and Westwood One, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The Golf Nut is thrilled to introduce new products for 2025, including Cobra Dark Speed Adapt Woods and Irons, Ping G440 Woods and Irons, and TaylorMade QI35 Woods. Lap putters, including the latest OZ model, are also available. Whether you want to improve your swing or enjoy the game, the Golf Nut offers a range of options. Book a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators and experience golfing greatness. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue for your ultimate golfing destination.
The Neumeier family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Neumeier's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Neumeier family.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV with hands-free driving assistance and go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $900 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Do you want to be home every weekend, use brand new equipment, and make a competitive salary? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, call 479-646-4685. That's 646-4685. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com. Lavorne Lumber. Paying the bills, we'll take care of you.
Do you need closure? On your garage, call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
April showers bring May flowers to spring's June heat. Remember the June heat with the air you can wear? Mike Blaylock with Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning. We offer the highest efficiency home comfort system on the market today with the York Affinity Series. So for all your high efficiency heating and cooling needs, plumbing and drain cleaning, get a red truck rolling your way today. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning in York. Give us a call at 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Forsgren is hiring immediately. Forsgren Incorporated, a heritage company and premier employer, is now hiring equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Have experience in any of these areas? Apply now at goforsgren.com. Don't delay. Forsgren is hiring now at goforsgren.com. Don't miss your opportunity to join the Forsgren legacy. Forsgren has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about the toughest there is.
Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally it's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
It's a hell of a lineup. Might be the most complete lineup in the conference. Can't speak for the country. Haven't seen everybody.
That's Tony Vitello after the 11-4 Tennessee loss, talking about your baseball team, top to bottom, and how dominant and good they are. The Razorbacks had 8 guys in the batting order reach on base yesterday. Justin Thomas had 2 walks. And Ryder Helfrich being the only guy that didn't get a hit or walk yesterday, but had a good outing the day before. And that's one of the elements that you really like heading into this weekend, where you'll play the only other SEC opponent in the College World Series, LSU. Again, guessing that's going to be the Saturday 6 o'clock game on ESPN. Kind of surprising. Auburn falls at home to Coastal Carolina, and Colton, help me on this. It's
the Chanticleers.
The Chanticleers have won a national championship before,
but commonly called the Chanticleers,
or
the Chandeliers.
The Chandeliers. But they defeated the only other SEC team that was in the and I say the only other one of the other teams that had a chance to advance. So curious to see what the Razorbacks can do against the Tigers this Saturday night, and if the SEC streak continues since 2019.
Yeah, I mean, Auburn had been hot, and I guess it just cooled off a little too early, but Coastal Carolina playing great baseball right now. And here's the one thing that's going to end for certain is there's not going to be 2 SEC teams play each other, which this league's had a string. They may end up, Arkansas or LSU may end up winning it all, but not going to be the stranglehold on the championship round that there's been for 5 years now.
So the teams in the College World Series that have won in advance, there's only one team one seed that has not gotten to that point. Louisville and Oregon State, Arizona at Coastal, UCLA will play the winner of Murray State and Duke, the only game remaining today, and then LSU and Arkansas. So of the 3 super regionals that were Saturday, Sunday.
Run through those again. You're a little fast. So who's going to play each other?
Louisville will play Oregon State.
Okay.
Arizona will play Coastal Carolina. UCLA is on your side of the bracket. Will play the winner of Murray State or Duke today, and then Arkansas will play LSU. 99% 6 o'clock ESPN. It's funny, we've said that like 10 times.
Would it be destiny? Would it almost be? I mean, maybe a 30 for 30 in the making if Arkansas played Oregon State again, from the 20. I mean, we're all going to have to live through the pain of watching the highlight of that is out there. But I've already seen a lot of people talking on Twitter and Facebook about Arkansas and Oregon State and its destiny to play for the national championship. It's a possibility. They're on the other side. I mean, I don't know if you're rooting for that, but I'd probably just soon Louisville go ahead and knock Oregon State out, or someone on that other side knock them out. I don't really want to have to deal with Oregon State in a championship and all those questions, all those thoughts that no one on this team, no one other than the coaching staff had anything to do with that, but somehow that pressure will get heaped upon this team. So I am not a favorite of that, as some of y'all want that redemption out there.
Yeah, of any team on the other side of the bracket, I don't want to play Coastal either. Give me Louisville or Arizona, and that's assuming you can get through your side of the bracket. Pat Casey's no longer the head coach of the Beavers. It's Mitch Canham, I think is how you say his name. So you would have a different coach, but I'm kind of like you. I really don't want to have to put myself and subject myself to seeing that Oregon State highlight over and over and over again.
These players would have been 13, 14, 15, somewhere in that range, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe the oldest younger. 6, if not. Yeah. I mean. Yeah, someone like, someone's a freshman on this team would have been 10 or 11, so I don't want that pressure of what happened and that famous foul ball or infamous, maybe we should say foul. This team doesn't need that pressure. You don't want that. So quit rooting for that out there.
Well, and Kozel got asked about facing pressure this weekend.
When you have a group of guys like we do, I don't think there's a lot of pressure. When you have a lot of really good kids, we really enjoy being around each other, sacrifice a lot with each other, putting a lot of time with each other. I don't know if there's really any pressure. It's playing a game we love, and we all have perspective about it. In 20 years, you don't want to look back and be like, oh, I was timid. I was soft. You want to go out there and sell out.
Yeah, you couldn't have said that better.
Yeah, so I think that's really part of the secret sauce of this team. What's the meat of the lineup? Exactly. Because 1 through 9 is pretty dangerous, right? There isn't one player you're waiting on. And if I pinned you down and you said Kahiva Aloy, that probably is the right answer. But there's really, the separation between him and his 8 other teammates in the batting lineup is very narrow, right?
Strong argument for Davalon.
Okay, is there a canyon between Zach Root and Gage Wood?
No,
but we've had Hagen Smith and we've had Kevin Kopps that everyone depended on. I think there's something to the idea that there's not one player, there's not one dude everybody's waiting around on to hit the magic home run or throw the magic pitch, and everybody feels like they've got to do their part. Everybody feels like they're capable of being the star of this show.
And yet at the same
they are.
And yet at the same time, you do have a guy that's a Golden Spikes Award finalist, and you have a guy that's a first-team All-SEC pitcher. So,
but do you agree that that there's not a canyon between Aloy and Root and the rest of their teammates?
Those guys have he has a lot less pressure on him than our previous Golden Spikes winners to win and do the entire thing for their whole team. Like Tommy said.
No one's carrying the team.
Yeah.
That's my point. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes when you get into a spot where you have one player that's obviously so much better than the rest of his teammates, everybody kind of says, well, he'll do it. Kevin Kopps will do it. Hagen Smith will do it. And then that pressure becomes too much to bear, or the other team's just that good. I think there's an element to that's really propelled this team to where they're at.
I don't disagree. All right, that is your SEC update here on a Hot Take Monday.
Let me tell you about our friends at WT Equipment. With spring here and summer on the way, and man, was it warm at the ballpark. It's time to upgrade your equipment. Whether you're in need of a powerful zero-turn mower or hard-working utility tractor, WT Equipment has the deals to get you rolling. Right now, the Hustler sales event's on with up to $1,700 off MSRP on select Hustler zero turns like the Raptor X. Plus, qualified buyers get 0% financing for 42 months. And if you need more muscle for the job, the Ready to Roll event also has savings on New Holland Power Star tractors with 0% financing for 60 months. So that's 65 to 100 PTO horsepower models. Hey, hurry. These deals are only going to last until June the 30th. Visit WT Equipment today. Call them for details, 479-442-8284, or shop online any of their locations around the state, WTEquip.com.
We're going to talk with Jack DeLongchamps coming up here in just a bit, 5 minutes or so. He was here in Bob Walker this weekend, obviously took it all in from start to finish. One of the other things that I think stood out when you brought up Hagen Smith is you had kind of a Smith Riggio dynamic this weekend with Fisher and Root, or Fisher and any other pitcher that he went up against this weekend, where the intensity level, this is one of the best players in all of college baseball, not just the SEC. And then also Liam Doyle, who, by the way, you stroked again. I mean, that is something to be said. And I am truly amazed that when you look at Arkansas's record against the SEC pitchers of the year, and we referred to him in hour one. You beat David Price back in 2007. You beat Ethan Small in 2019. You beat Skeens twice. You beat Singer twice. You beat Doyle twice. I mean, that's coaching. And obviously the talent that Dave Van Horn's recruited to get here. But there's something special when this team goes up against an elite pitcher, and they usually don't have good outings against Arkansas.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be one that hopefully the season we've all been dreaming of since 2018 and trying to get that redemption. But this is a team that's, I don't know if it's the most complete we've ever watched, but this is the most complete this program's ever been. Ty, one thing I noticed is just watching the game yesterday, and you look out on the fence and you can see all the accolades and the not just the World Series, and they put the 2025 up after, but also just the number of years you've made the tournament. And I don't think this should be overlooked. One thing that I was just kind of noticing in between half innings yesterday, since 1995, you know how many times this program has missed the NCAA tournament since 1995?
Once in 2016?
No, since 1995.
I don't know. I thought
4.
Okay.
So you go back 30 years. They've been in 26 of the last 30 NCAA tournaments. It's one thing to be a program that gets hot, maybe has a run. That's the kind of consistency that, when you start talking about is Arkansas as good as anyone in the country, you say, well, they don't have a national title. How many others out there can say 26 out of 30 in the tournament?
The model of success.
I mean, model of consistency. And success is a good word too, but consistency. Look at that wall the next time you're at Baum Walker. Or just look at it. They've only missed one under Dave Van Horn. But they've only missed as a program in the last 30 years 4 occasions. Pretty damn good.
Didn't even let Tennessee get off the field, though, before they updated the wall. I like that. That's petty, and that's good stuff.
That's one thing you like to see. I hung around for that as well. Hey, we're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202 is the number. At Gaston's, they're ready to go for summer. They got cabins and lodges that are perfect for you and your family and the getaway that you're looking for. Whether it's a private cabin or lodge, they got a variety of floor plans and number of beds and bedrooms to choose from. You can call Cheryl or call Jacob, and they'll get you fixed up. When it comes to fishing, they got the best guides on the White River, so you're not going to get cheated on a great day of fishing because they got the experts to put you right where the fish are at and help you land that trophy brown or rainbow you've always dreamed of. 870-431-5202. I can't wait for my next trip to Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Even though you try to be, Ty, you just can't quite get.
Well, I just probably can't get there. But you should try either.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows. Binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take a shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5HEshot.com for full details and rules to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
Started with juice. Good start, man.
This is The Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I have enough trouble deciding what's for lunch. Imagine how stressed I was during the home buying process. Thankfully, Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, took the reins.
That's right, Ty. Buying or selling a home is the biggest financial decision you'll ever make. I have years of experience and proven expertise that help guide you through the process.
All my female friends love my house. I'm not kidding either.
Trust me like Ty did to guide you through every step of the way. Call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. Big decisions, simple solutions.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
For details. At Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren, there's never been a better time to buy. Stop in today and check out our huge discounts on new Chevrolets and pre-owns. No reasonable offer will be refused, and at Roads, we always give you more for your trade. Plus, we offer free pickup and delivery. You can even buy remotely. Stop in and let us show you the Roads way with our 2-year complimentary maintenance program on every vehicle sold. Experience the Roads way. Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, where you get the best prices, period.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
So the Arkansas Razorbacks take it 11-4 over the weekend yesterday. Great Super Regional if you're an Arkansas fan. Dave Van Horn after the game.
It would have been hard for me. This good a team didn't get to Omaha without winning a championship somewhere. They didn't win a trophy. They didn't get a ring. They didn't get the SEC championship. They didn't get the tournament championship. I mean, if we'd have lost this series, it'd have been like, that's the best team that didn't do anything here. Now it's one of the best teams that's ever come through here. You never know how it's going to go from here. They're down to the final 8, and you know, that's a championship to me. You get to Omaha, that's big.
So the Arkansas Razorbacks will play the LSU Tigers this Saturday. Game time still yet to be announced. 99% it's going to be 6 o'clock on ESPN. But again, we kicked around this morning, Tommy. You presented for our Morning Rush Day the question, should they reseed? We've got some people agree, some people disagree. It's not going to happen, obviously, heading into this weekend, but you're going to play.
Should it happen in future years?
I don't think so. I think that's just... I think that's wishful thinking on Arkansas fans' part. And LSU fans are probably not too happy that they have to play Arkansas.
I would make this point, though. As a fan of this program, you probably would like to have that happen because you're probably going to be a top half seed more often than not, right? You're probably going to be a top 8 national seed more often than not. It would probably benefit your program in its current state more often than not. I know you're all about getting an edge for your program. Bend every rule you can.
Yeah, I usually am.
You're really surprised me.
In this situation, I just got the team. That's who you're playing. Lace them up. Let's go.
All right. Hey, we're brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group. If you're looking for a turnkey solution, one stop, one call for your construction project, APAC and Standard Materials Group is Northwest Arkansas's #1 provider of aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete. If you need more than just materials, APAC can help you with that. Surveying, engineering, construction, drone capabilities, trucking, logistics, all that goes into large-scale jobs. And APAC can help you with every aspect of that as well. 479-587-3300 is the number. 587-3300 to get started with APAC and Standard Materials Group. 479-587-3300.
You know, Scott, the tortilla guy, asked a good question here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Who was the MVP of this series? And the reason it's a good question is because your mind probably went to a different person. I would probably give it to Charles Davalon, if anyone. But, I mean, there's a case to be made for Zach Roop. There's a case to be made for Logan Maxwell. Yep. There's probably another player or two out there that you can say, you know what, he had a good enough weekend in 2 games to earn that. Again, Tennessee, who's a high-powered offense, only managed 7 runs against you in the course of 2 games. Dave's been very complimentary of his pitching so far in the postseason, and yet they just didn't do much.
B.E. in Clarksville says Liam Doyle.
Liam Doyle.
Good
That's
text
great.
on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline.
Yeah, Doyle, again, doesn't have success against Arkansas. I know Vitella was talking about the impact that had against him. Maybe Fisher is another kid just because he got Arkansas. He got Root fired up. I know he hit that homer against Gackle, but that's another guy that I would say motivated the Razorbacks to beat him.
18 runs and 3 starts at Baum Walker Stadium for Liam Doyle at 11 ERA.
And
Just
here's
dreadful.
And here's and to add on to your point that you just made, Colton, Arkansas. And I don't have the exact stat, but I heard Tom Hart mention it, or maybe it was Phil on our broadcast on the Razorback Sports Network. But you nearly have half of Doyle's home runs this year that he's given up. The Razorbacks, I want to say it was like 45% or something like that. But that's pretty remarkable against one of the best pitchers in baseball. For whatever reason, when he comes into Baum Walker, he does not find success as a pitcher.
I would make my case for Logan Maxwell, and mainly 3 hits, had 4 in the series, 4 RBIs on the 1 swing yesterday. But that, it was too early to say that was the final nail in the coffin, but that closed it. There might have need to be one more nail put in at that point. But at that point, once you had that 5-run inning, I mean, that place was just sitting on a powder keg ready to go. Hey, we just need to get 15 more outs. And, you knew Tennessee's good enough to come back, but, man, that really put a lot of self-doubt. That really put a real wrench in the mechanics there for Tennessee. So I would make the case for Maxwell just because that was really the dagger in the end.
Maybe Cannon Peebles, who didn't play in game 1, and then game 2, what do you have, 3 or 4 pass balls, which you're not expecting from the starting catcher. So, again, just poking some funs at the balls after the game and everything else. But that is, again, cool that there's multiple guys you could list, and I don't think you'd have pushback from fans.
Go back and because I don't remember his name, but the pitcher that came in late for Arkansas, or not for Tennessee, and he was doing like this hop. Y'all wouldn't have seen it if you were watching on TV because they were in commercial break. But he comes in and he's throwing gas. It was one of their last guys. I believe it was Dylan. I mean, it may have been Tanner Franklin when he came in. He comes in, he does like this hop, it's like warm up step, hopping down the mountain, and throws it and just airmails the first 2 pitches over.
I bet he got
and
it.
hits the backstop. Yeah, and the place was just hitting. I think to some degree that was planned, but that was part of his warm up strategy. And it got the fans going. But it was high heat. I mean, over the catcher's head.
Well, you had
but then he zoned it in pretty quick.
You had the Creighton kid, and you might have to help me on his name. Coleman was doing like the hop skip this past weekend, and Arkansas fans were like counting the steps.
Yeah, well, this was something totally different than that.
And
this was like a running start at throwing his first 2 warm up pitches. I mean, literally like started behind the rubber. It was like running down the mound throwing it.
There's some good stuff this weekend. Anything else like that you wouldn't have noticed on
Arky
TV?
says they did show it on TV. I was there, so I didn't know what they showed on TV.
I did like how DVH kept Logan Maxwell at the end of the game in there to stay in at right field. He usually has Kendall Diggs come in as the defensive replacement there, and maybe Kendall Diggs definitely deserves to be on the field, but Logan Maxwell, like Tommy said, had a fantastic series, ended up making the deciding swing in the game, and I thought it was nice that he got to stay on the field and celebrate with his team after that final out was made.
So we're an hour and 42 minutes into the show this morning, and this question hasn't been asked, but we might as well ask it. Are they going to win the whole thing? Is Dave Van Horn in his 22nd year going to get that elusive national title that he's come so close to? And for the first time in the history of our program, is this team going to be victorious in Omaha, Nebraska? Is that going to happen? Do you feel that in your bones heading into this weekend?
I don't know. I think they're the best team there. I think of the 8 teams left, they're the best team. I think that's what you're going to hear all the national pundits and talking heads and the Kyle Petersons of the world and the Mike Rooneys of the world. That's what they're going to be saying. I guess there's a dose of pressure with that. I think they're the team to beat, but that doesn't mean they're going to win it all. Baseball's fickle, and but they've got everything you need to win it all. So, yeah, I mean, they are the team to beat headed to Omaha.
And we've heard from Rooney and Todd Wright and some other guys that have come on these airwaves before and just talk about, again, how complete this team is. And this was prior to the postseason even beginning. And again, there was a rough stretch here and there, and that happens during the course of football, basketball, or baseball season. But I'll go back to just the emotions that Dave Van Horn felt following the game and how just kind of it poured out of him right at the beginning of the press conference.
So happy for, everybody involved with the program, especially, more than anything, the players, because they're the ones that do all the work. They're the ones that win the games. And so happy that, they're going to finish this season in Omaha. I don't know. Just means a lot.
So the combination of that last week, talking with Ed Service after the game, saying he's not too far behind you. I mean, are we getting to that point where it's at the? I mean, it is at the tail end. I think we know that because DVH is in his 60s. But like, how close is the conclusion of this tenure that he's had here in Arkansas?
Does winning it all this year change that timeline?
And that's what that was question. Presented to me last night by some Morning Rush listeners. Like, go out on the high note, win the whole thing, and call it. I think I referred to Pat Casey earlier. I believe after that 2018 season, obviously beat us and then called it quits after that. And that is something that I think it's hard to do as a coach or player because once you taste one championship, you want another. You mentioned the embrace that he had with his grandchildren after the game. I just wonder, and that's not the main storyline that came out of this weekend, but when you combine the week before with Service and their friendship and the conversation they shared after the game, and then the moment that you just heard in that press conference, that just makes me think a little bit about the timeline of Dave Van Horn.
No one would argue with the thought or the opinion that he's earned the right to do it the way he wants to do it. So obviously it's rhetorical to say he's welcome to stay as long as he wants. But his exit plan, and I think even to a great degree, his successor should be left up to him. So however many years he wants to stay, it's rhetorical to even say it, and it doesn't need to even be mentioned. He has earned the right. Because help me with the last decade. Let's see. They went in 2015, then it was 2018, 19, 22, and 25.
Correct. 5
of the last 10. You've been in the College World Series, or is that 11, counting 15? So, I mean, 15, 18, 19, 22, and 25. I mean, that's a hell of a decade.
He's gone every third year in his entire tenure.
Hang on. Let me back up. That is 5 of 10 because you had a COVID year in there. Mm-hmm. So let's not forget there wasn't one.
And again, the timeline, it's been pushed back a year. Every 30 years. Didn't have a season in 2020. My math was off, just like the Mayans back in the day. So maybe it ends up happening for them this season.
But he's got gas left in the tank. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's, and that was the point I'm making. 5 of the last 10 or so, not counting the COVID year. This isn't a guy that's just, trying to luck one out here at the end.
Well, I think the other part of this conversation heading into this weekend, kind of straying away from DBH and his retirement timeline, but has there been a College World Series, at least from the outside looking in, that could be less difficult just with the amount of SEC teams? And I realize you have to parlay that with the fact that you're playing LSU game 1, and that might be the other best team here. But those are the only 2 SEC teams. So if you beat these guys on Saturday, and this is going to sound stupid, but you set yourself up. They're in the loser's bracket, obviously, and vice versa if Arkansas was to lose. Beyond that, I mean, you talked about not wanting to play Oregon State. I wholeheartedly agree with you. I don't want to have to see that on the other side if it makes it to that point. But there's just not a lot of SEC competition this weekend and beyond that. So I would think that of the games that Arkansas...
I like the path for the winner of the Arkansas-LSU game. I'll say that.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
Well, we've had a great time covering the Arkansas and the Fayetteville Super Regional, and we've had some great help covering that along the way, Ty.
Yep, Heath Roberts at State Farm, my insurance agent. You can call him at 479-452-4088. State Farm is a big name, but Heath is a local guy, and he earned my business, does a great job. Car insurance, home insurance, and everything else. ASU Mountain Home, over 60 degrees in technical programs at the number 1 community college in Arkansas, named that by Wallet Hub. You can go to asumh.edu. That's asumh.edu. And by First Star Bank. For all your first, whether you're saving, borrowing, or planning, they can help you at your local First Star Bank branch. Call your hometown banker and take advantage of all the digital tools here at First Star Bank. So they've been a part of this weekend. As far as this week and this weekend is concerned, we're going to be in Omaha talking with Phil after today. We'll probably be at DJ Dugout and a combination of at Charles Schwab Field here the next few days as we get ready for our coverage. We had a question earlier when the send-off is going to be. Where's it going to be at? I would guess that you're going to get an update from Phil on that here later on at halftime. It is going to be, unless they've changed plans. You heard Dave say we're flying to Omaha on Wednesday, so it will be here in 2 days. It's just don't know the time of it just yet.
We're an hour and 49 minutes into the program. We haven't asked really the most important question, beyond who wins the national title, beyond the send-off. The really important question in Omaha is this. Who wins the Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge?
Yeah, well,
I mean that's the real national
more
title.
Important, honestly.
That's the real national title.
I have already taken one Venmo. Our old coworker Drew Barrett sent me $20 last night to buy 4 Jello shots from Rocco's.
Is this like the biggest scam in sports?
There needs to be some integrity.
This is the biggest scam in sports.
Well, think about it's not like that. I would guess that Rocco's is not packed all the time. I don't want to speak for Kevin.
But it will be tens of thousands of these shots at $5 each that will be taken. So I mean, at the end, be close to $100,000 that in Jello shots. I don't know how much cost there is in a Jello shot, but I'm going to guess it's dimes, not dollars.
Yeah, the winner of Arkansas and LSU will likely win not only the College World Series but the Jello shot contest as well.
That's the most important thing going on is the Jello shot challenge.
It's funny, you got in years past, you've had the big dogs, like certain big wigs. Like Todd Graves, for example, that owns Raising Cane's. He's a big LSU guy. He bought an absurd amount of Jello shots. Years before, it was the guy at Realtree, who was an Ole Miss alum and fan. I think Arkansas's guy, one of the boosters with Bandit for Arkansas, purchased a large amount. So you have these big wigs that obviously make it to Omaha to watch the game, and they're like, oh, I'll just throw down a couple thousand or on these Jello shots and everything else. I'm not going to expense that. I'm not even going to expense one, but yes, that will be a contest worth noting.
Y'all like Jello shots?
I'm honestly not the biggest fan.
I'm going to do a shot. It isn't going to be that.
No, it's not. By the way,
I'm with you.
Speaking of a contest, I think it was like 86,000, I think was the jackpot winner this weekend, if I remember that right. So it's sizably less than the last winner one that was announced at Baum-Walker Stadium. But if it had been more in the stadium and more I don't know if it had been equal to, but and you had a 3-game series for that against Tennessee. So there were some factors working against Arkansas on that the fact that it has zero presence inside the stadium itself. Kristen Fayetteville also points out in the Jello Shot contest they contribute half of those winnings to the local food bank. Which if Arkansas wins, it'll
half. Wink, wink.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the financials and particulars behind that, but again, that all gets going this week. They had some Jello shots that they brought to Fayetteville these last few weekends. I know you got a chance to take it all in yesterday. That is something that I think people that were in attendance will remember for the rest of their life, how that game concluded and how they got to celebrate with the team after.
Well, one way to celebrate is with a frozen custard at Andy's Frozen Custards. Kids are out of school. Do that today. It's starting to warm up. It's getting into the 90s. It's feeling warm. It was hot in the ballpark. Andy's after the game would have been perfect. You can stop in and see them on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, 2 locations in Conway, and 1 location on JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. All your favorite flavors, your favorite toppings that they can mix in as well into your favorite frozen custard, including their famous Pick 6, where you can mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors. That's Andy's Frozen Custards, Fort Smith, Conway in North Little Rock, and download the Andy's app, walk up or drive through. They're ready to serve you at Andy's Frozen Custards.
The 1-2 to Maxwell. Hit in the air, left field, gonna carry. Going back is Bargo. Bargo's at the wall. He leaps out of here. A grand slam by Logan Maxwell.
And his first career grand slam is one of our co-MVPs that we've given the title to this morning here on the Morning Rush. Halftime coming up momentarily. Phil Elson, Matt Jones. I know Phil's really excited to talk about what occurred this weekend and the upcoming events in Omaha, Nebraska. Arkansas, for the 8th time, is heading back under Dave Van Horn. 12th time overall. Hopefully they take it all this weekend.
Well, if you're going to Omaha, be sure and download the Hit That Line Now app. It's powered by Taco Bell. Wherever you're at, you can take us with you. And if you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. It's in the Apple app or Google Play Store. Just search Hit That Line. You'll see the little red square with HTL in it. Download it and take us with you wherever you go with the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell.
Your number one source for Omaha coverage at the College World Series is ESPN Arkansas. Between Chuck and Bo, the Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, 13 hours of programming a day leading you up to the College World Series this weekend. We'll also have pre- and post-game coverage for you as well, live from Omaha. So for Tommy Kraft and Colton Little, I'm Ty Richardson. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Halftime is next.
Since 2009, the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery has provided more than $1 billion in scholarships to thousands of Arkansans just like you. So thanks a billion, Arkansas. If you'd like to apply for the scholarship, simply go to